Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys. How's everyone?
Jenny,
It's a great morning. It's a great morning.
Because?
The old Michael Thomas got paid. I love that.
Really?
I love when that wide receiver position jack that price up.
Really?
You know who's watching that, right, Skip?
So now we got the Kirk Cousins cloud hanging over Dak, and we got the Gurley cloud hanging over Zeke, and now we got the Michael Thomas cloud hanging over Amari.
Yup.
And you are so happy.
They're changing.
Yeah.
Things are changing.
Yeah.
We have all the details
How you
there.
doing today, Skip?
I'm just doing
It's a lovely day. I heard it's going to be a lovely, a beautiful day in L.A.
Okay.
That's what
Let's
I
see how
hear.
the show goes. Hopefully we've got a good one coming your way. A lot to get to on today's show. Did Shannon already put the MVP curse on Andrew Luck?
Yep.
Sorry to bring it up, but we'll
Sorry to
go
bring it
there.
up.
And is Dez Bryant done with football? But we
Yep.
will start with Ezekiel Elliott. He is reportedly hanging out in Cabo right now as he continues his holdout. Yesterday, Cowboys legend Michael Irvin said on NFL Network, quote, "They are not going anywhere without Zeke. That is how important he is." And former NFL running back D'Angelo Williamson said on ESPN that Zeke is the only player the Cowboys need to pay. Also yesterday, Stephen Jones talked about the negotiations with Zeke and the other Cowboys stars. Take a listen.
That's my goal, is at the end of the day, we figure out a contract for Dak, for Amari, for Zeke that's fair, that's one they can be satisfied with, but at the same time, they've got to understand there's a real salary cap out there, and any money that we save in their situations, and it's not their job to manage the cap, I agree with that. That's our job to do. But any money we save is not going in Jerry's pocket. It's going to another football player. I mean, it's a hard cap. It's reality. We have to deal with it. And, you know, at some point, the money we spend on these great players are going to keep us, unfortunately, from probably signing a couple guys that we'd like to keep.
Shannon, what is your takeaway from all of those comments?
Ta-da!
It's over? Cowboys should just call off this whole season, right?
Skip, let me start with Stephen Jones first. Again, he's doing it. He's sowing these poisonous seeds.
Poisonous?
Because what he's doing, Skip, he's trying to, fans, if these guys don't give us the discount, you know, we're not going to be able to sign some of the other players. It's not, you're right, Stephen, it's not the player's job to manage the cap. That's your job. They've played their tails off. They've earned this money, and now you want them to take 70, 80 cents on the dollar. There's a reason why Harry Winston's. There's a reason why the Four Seasons don't offer sales. You know why, Jenny? Because once you start that, guess what you have to do? This isn't Family Dollar. This isn't Dollar General. You don't get discounts here, Skip Bayless. Zeke wants Todd Gurley money. Dak is going to want top 3, top 4 money. And with that Michael Thomas deal, Amari Cooper going to want the big bucks, no whammies. You remember that game show, Pressure Luck? Big bucks, no whammies. Stop.
I do not remember that
I don't remember
show.
that either.
Sorry.
Skip, here's the thing about Amari Cooper. Did you not know he had only a year and a half left? That once he got him there, so he's going to play the rest of the year, that year out, and then he's on his option year. Did you realize that, Skip? The Cowboys did, because if you didn't want to pay him the money, you should have just left well enough alone and go into the draft and get your receiver, and you wouldn't have had to worry about paying Amari Cooper. The going rate now is 5 years, $100 million, 61 guaranteed. That's what Amari going to want. Amari. I'm sorry, Skip. This get real good. But
That means love.
yeah.
And I love Amari.
I love it too. I love he about to get that big payday.
Yep.
Somebody can't get paid. But at the end, he makes a very compelling point. He says that if we give these guys the money that they deserve, that means we're not going to be able to pay somebody. And that's what I've been trying to tell you all along, Skip. The way the cap is set up in the NFL, because you have a hard cap, Skip, there's no possible way you can pay all these good players. And you say that's a great problem to have? It is until they come up for contract. And then that's a terrible problem to have. And what exacerbates it is that all these guys are coming up at once. You get Amari, you get Zeke, you get Dak, you get Byron Jones, you get Jalen Smith, and you just gave DeMarcus Lawrence that big cake. So, Skip, Steven needs to stop that. Stop trying to sow poison seeds out there to try to turn the public against these guys, trying to make them seem like they're selfish, that the most important thing, no. You can win Super Bowls and make a lot of money because the Cowboys do it all the time. But anyway, now, last, Skip, Why does it take everybody? Why would you listen to me? You know Shannon got your best interest at heart. I got your best interest, and I've been trying to tell you this for the longest. Michael, now, the only bigger Cowboy lover than you is Michael Irvin. And he said cancel Christmas. He said, you get Thanksgiving, say we going straight to the New Year. Ain't no Santa Claus ain't stopping by. He ain't opening no gifts. Don't even leave no cookies and milk because it's over. D'Angelo Williams said, that's the only guy. Skip, you've built your entire offense. There's a reason why you drafted 3 #1 offensive linemen, 3 first-team All-Pro offensive linemen, and you take a running back with the 4th overall pick. Did you do that to throw the ball? Absolutely not. So, in order of importance, it goes Zeke, Dak, Amari. Anything else would be uncivilized.
That's from a deodorant commercial. And by the way, Jenny, I might have to step away and take a second shower this morning because I feel I just got slimed from across the table by the hate spewed by this man. I need another shower. I feel soiled. I feel dirty because I am sick and tired of all of the goo that you just spew across the table.
What I do?
I'm going to, before I get to all my answers
Please.
to all of Jenny's questions, I'm going to reiterate for Cowboy Nation one more time. This will all get taken care of. Despite all the wringing of hands and gnashing of teeth, and despite all of the glee displayed by the the president of the Cowboy haters across the table from me, Jerry will figure this out before game 1, before the first game that counts. All of these contracts will get done.
I don't see it.
Jerry Jones is a cap wizard. When it comes to money, Jerry has genius. This is what Jerry will get done. Making football decisions, big decisions. He's handed that football off to Will McClay the last 3 or 4 years, and most of them have been good to very good.
Spot on.
But the point is, these are all great problems to have. No team in the NFL has as many great problems as Jerry and Stephen Jones have right now, and I love it because I have a team on the verge. I have a team I'm picking to win the championship of the NFC this year and get to the Super Bowl because these aren't good problems. They are all-time great problems. You're right. They're all coming to a crescendo at the same time, but if anybody can work through this and figure it out, if anybody has the people skills to navigate through 3 superstars and make them reasonably happy, it's this man and his son, Jerry and Stephen Jones. These aren't poison pills being sown by Stephen Jones. No, it's not. They're just reality pills because the reality is this league has the hardest salary cap. The NBA's is a little soft. I still can't figure out how some of these teams like Golden State, I don't even know how they've done it. You know, how do you fit all those people? And finally it caught up to them and they said, well, we got to cut bait here, right?
Well, Skip, if you get Kevin Durant take a few less dollars here and you get Draymond to take a few less dollars there, but their money for the contract is fully guaranteed.
Okay, so let me first address my friend Michael Irvin's comment.
Sure.
My team is going nowhere without Ezekiel Elliott. Okay, that is probably true in the biggest picture. But right now, Michael knows about triplets because he was 1/3 of the triplets back in the 90s. It was Michael and Emmett and Troy, as in Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman.
Yep.
Now we have new triplets, and they're really quadruplets because you have to throw the offensive line in with the other 3.
Well, you didn't throw him in with that one, and that offensive line was better than...
I'm saying that in both cases, it's really quadruplets.
Yeah.
But the point is, they have to work in concert. They need each other. It's 3 for 1 and 1 for 3, right?
Yeah.
And I got a big question.
Yes.
And this is really for the Hall of Famer sitting across from me.
Sir.
So let's think about Zeke. They're going nowhere without Zeke. Last year, the first 8 games, they had Ezekiel Elliott, and he was playing at a pretty high level. He looked like Zeke to me, right?
Yeah.
Help me out, Mr. Hall of Famer. How did they fall to 3-5 with Ezekiel Elliott in the lineup? So they're going nowhere without him. They were going nowhere with him last year through 8 games. Help me out.
Okay, you want me to help you out? You want me to help you out right now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm going to lend you a hand.
Oh.
Because your quarterback was playing terrible.
Oh.
Yeah, they stacked the box.
Really?
They stacked the box and took the running game away, and he couldn't deliver the ball down the field.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
That's your excuse. My excuse is that my quarterback didn't have a number 1 receiver to make anybody respect any part of the passing game. Here comes Amari Cooper. You got to give Jerry Jones high marks.
Yes.
I know you say you went and got him after he was an established receiver.
Yeah. No.
Was he good?
Yeah.
No, he was really good.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Was it a good move? Was it worth the first round pick?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yeah, way to go, Jerry.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yep.
It changed life in Dallas last year.
It did.
Because all of a sudden, Dak and the offense took off. What did Dak Prescott do the last 8 games of the year? He went 7-1. He went 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. He was 3rd in the NFL in completions and 4th in passing yards over the last 8 games. Is that good? So he had top 5 numbers over the last 8 games, and you say he's a bust, he can't throw a lick, but that's okay. He looked like a star to me over the last 8 games because he had a number 1 receiver. So is it possible that Michael should amend his comment to they're going nowhere without Amari? Because, maybe Amari. You needed 3 in concert. And then all of a sudden, everything starts clicking, and they beat Seattle in a playoff game, and they should have beaten the Rams in a play. Yes, they should have. They
should not have, Skip. Stop saying
but
that.
Zeke got stuffed on 4th and 1. I don't know what happened. They went nowhere with Zeke on 4th and 1. I'll give you that, Michael.
Skip, you remember they asked Stephen Jones, it's like, Stephen, you don't have any first-round picks. What are you going to be doing during the first round? He says, I'm going to be watching highlights of Amari Cooper. Okay. So, but guess what that means, Skip Bayless?
Okay.
If Amari Cooper comes in and goes to the Pro Bowl after what he just saw Michael Thomas got.
Okay.
Now, Michael Thomas is going to 2 Pro Bowls. Amari Cooper's going to 3. So
Okay.
do you think he's going to take $1 less than Michael Thomas?
I don't know, but here's the point and the question for you, Mr. Hall of Famer.
Yes.
3 Super Bowl rings. Is it not true that Super Bowls translate into income? Is it not true it can translate into lifetime income because it can make highly more possible a job such as that one across the table from me, right?
Yes.
Speaking engagements, autograph signings, picture taking, all those, anything that can go with winning Super Bowls, it relates to your whole lifetime.
Yeah.
It's a huge advantage to say, I've got a ring, I've got 2, I've got 3.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now are these kids mature enough to see we're on the verge of greatness here? We have something very few teams, if any team, have. We have star power at the top, all coming of age at the same time. Mm-hmm. That means that if we could break through this year, we might be the team to beat for the next 3 or 4 years.
Well, Skip, what makes it so hard for the guys to take discounts is that because you paid the line, you played 3 guys top 3 money at their position. So for them to take, so do you think the guys are going to take less than top 3?
All those guys are a little older and they came of age a little faster.
And the thing is,
they were decorated. They've been making all-pro teams, right?
Zeke Elliott, all-pro, Amari Cooper.
But I'm saying they did it ahead of these guys.
Right. But, and that's the thing, though, Skip. These guys are under contract. Zach Martin, 2024. Travis Frederick and Smith, Tyron Smith, they're under contract to 2023. So unless you start releasing some of these guys, you stuck, Skip. Somebody, Skip, the way it's set up, it's not like baseball. Look at the Yankees. When Gleyber Torres comes up and Aaron Judge comes up and all these great young players come up.
There's no cap.
No, they're going to be able to sign them. But because you got a cap in football, Skip, you can't pay everybody.
Sure.
And that was the way it was intended. We've seen teams lose players because Mike Daniels got cut from the Packers because they just couldn't pay him.
Yep.
It's simple as that, Skip. So not Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith, did you see the money Bobby Wagner just got? Jalen Smith says, I'm younger, I'm faster. Ooh, I might not be as decorated, but I'm coming. Oh, and Byron Jones. You see the money they getting out there for corners? He's like, hey, I'm coming. I went to the Pro Bowl, too, last year. Oh, I need that money, Steve. And no discounts. No discount. And that's well and good, Skip. You know, these speaking engagements, but I need that money right now. I can't worry about what's happening down the road, Jen. I need that nest egg right now.
But the ultimate role model in this league plays up in Foxborough, number 12. His name is Brady, I think his name.
But
Yeah,
Skip,
that's that guy,
but that's
Tom
unfair.
Brady.
That's unfair, Skip. That's
He
unfair.
continues to take hometown discounts. He now makes, on average, the 19th salary in the NFL among quarterbacks.
Yes.
19th highest paid quarterback.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Tim Duncan, down the stretch of his career, last 5 years, he was woefully underpaid because he said, I don't care. I
Right.
want to keep winning championships.
Yes, I get it.
Okay, so again, these are the first big paydays for these kids.
Right, so I got to get paid the first one.
But they are positioned to win multiple Super Bowls. And they have to understand a little sacrifice here and there, because if you sit down and think hard about it, Todd Gurley is dramatically overpaid.
No, he ain't.
Yes, he is. You know it, and I know it.
I
He
do
could
know
not live up,
nothing.
and he will not live up to that kind of a contract.
You remember
$45 million guaranteed.
You remember Hogan's Hero when he used to come on? And the general says, I know nothing.
No, not the general.
I mean, Colonel Klink.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know anything, Skip Bayless.
Sergeant Schultz.
Yeah. Skip, here's the thing, is that, let's just say for the sake of argument, I take you up on your offer. We're trying to win Super Bowls, and I take less money. If we don't win a Super Bowl, are you going to give me that what I left on the table?
Nope.
Oh, well, I can't do that then. Ain't no guarantee.
I hear you.
What if you have the young wisdom to say, I'm going to take just a little bit less so that we can fit everybody under this?
Dude.
And if you shoot for the moon, if you go over the top and you want way more than Todd Gurley or way more than Kirk Cousins or way more than Michael Thomas, Byron Jones is going to get sacrificed. Want to bet on
Yeah,
it? Want to
okay.
bet?
That's fine.
He won't be a Cowboy. Okay?
But Skip.
Is that what you want?
Yeah, Skip, it's not what I want.
Yeah, it is what you
You
want.
think I want this? You think I take joy in seeing you suffer and squirm? That the
I'm not
possibility.
suffering. You're suffering. You're squirming. You are freaking out because you see what's coming. You know I'm right.
I see
The only way this can get derailed is via salary cap.
Okay, it doesn't
right?
matter.
Only
Skip,
way.
I mean, maybe it's mechanical error, maybe it's driver error. At the end of the day, if it grows off the road, it went off the road. Why? How is unimportant to me. But for this, Skip Bayless, see, and I love Tom Brady. He's great and for what he's done, but he's done a disservice to a lot of players because everybody looks at him and says, and that's what everybody's done. Every general manager, every owner says, well, he did that. I don't worry about what Tom done. I can't worry about Tom's household. I don't care about his wife making $400 million. I don't care what he's done in my household because what he's done pays no bills over here. I need my money, Skip. I perform. Guess what? And everybody keeps saying, well, Zeke has 2 years left. If I'm not mistaken, how many years left did Dez Bryant have on his contract when they cut him? He had 2 years. He underperformed the contract. They got rid of him. Okay, Zeke Elliott says, I've overperformed. I need that. Allen Hurns, the man broke his ankle in a playoff game, and the Monday before you report on Thursday, you say, take a pay cut or else. You tried to back the man in the corner. And normal rule of thumb, the way I operate, Jenny, if you say do this or else, I'm always going to choose else because you left me no choice.
Really?
That was a crucial $5 million we saved right there.
Okay, guess what? Zeke said you saved $5 million. Go and bring it to me.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got $5
Amari's
million.
saying that, and Dak is
Exactly.
saying
Gotta go
that.
somewhere.
Yeah, I need more of those $5 million.
And truly, it is not going in Jerry's pocket.
Hey, it's going in my pocket. This is what I've had a hard time, and a lot of guys, we sit around and we talk about it, Skip. How have billionaires convinced the fans that millionaires should give them a discount? But that's what the owners have done. The owners somehow has convinced the general fan that we're billionaires, but the millionaires that work for us should give us a discount. And fans, and fans like, if it was me, I said, look, let me ask you this. You make $100,000 a year, and they say, you know what? Karen in payroll, she's the best human resource, payroll person there is. She wants this. So we need to take $25,000 of your $100,000. You do it? Hell no, I ain't doing that. I said, well, there you go. See, you can't look at it with your salary as opposed to someone else's. Look at it salary for salary. If your boss came to you and says, I need you to take a $25,000 deduction so we can pay Helen in payroll, the hell with Helen.
Okay.
I'm getting my money.
The optimal words you just spoke were millionaires who work for
Right.
Those are the two keywords.
Yes.
Work for
yes.
the billionaires.
So I don't give you no discount.
It is a free market society,
Well,
and you know what? You can take whatever money you have now, and you can go start your own league. If
No,
you
no,
want
no,
to.
no, I want to do that. No, I want to do that. No.
Yeah.
You said it's free market. Well, okay, I want to be free. Don't put no tags on me.
Oh.
Free, you can't say I'm free and then put a friend.
No. You accepted that deal
No.
about 10 years ago, whenever
8 years
it was.
ago,
8 years ago,
Well,
right?
we got to do away with that.
They're going to
Okay.
definitely
Yeah,
make
so
it
we
better.
We go hold. Right now, Skip. There's nothing we can do
If
about
you
it.
got the guts,
We got it.
to go without getting paid
Yep.
for maybe a whole year.
Yes.
You might just break the bank.
Yes.
You might break the system.
Yes.
You might be able to do away with the salary cap. What
got
if the NFL was an uncapped sport?
Wow.
Wow.
Well,
Can
well,
you imagine what
no.
those billionaires
Well,
might spend for the
Well, first-
Zekes and the
well,
Daks and the Amaris?
No, there'll be only a handful. There'll be like the Jerry Joneses. There'll be like Mr. Kraft. I believe Mr. Kraft will be one of those guys that'll spend.
Yeah.
But Skip, there are a lot of owners that say they want to win, but Skip, there's no benefit in winning. If I get 275 and I go 2-14, and I get 275 because that's what every team gets. Through the TV deals.
Sure.
If I get $275 million for winning the Super Bowl, I get $275 million for going 2-14. What's the incentive? I mean, you win the Super Bowl. Man, them guys don't care about no Super Bowl if I'm getting the same thing. I can either come to work and make what I make, or I can stay at home and make what I make.
Yeah, but it's the selling the tickets. It's more than that.
Let me ask you a question. Fans not going to a Cincinnati Bengals game? Fans not going to a Jaguar game? May not be as many,
Not always
but they still showing up.
consistently, but they are showing up.
They're showing up. But see, here's the thing. They make the money through the TV. That 275. There ain't nobody making no $100 million in no ticket
Last
sales.
quick thought on D'Angelo Williams' proclamation.
Stop hating. Stop hating.
He was talking out of his head or maybe out of another body part when he said that the only one who should get paid is Ezekiel
The
Elliott.
only.
Let's see, D'Angelo, he was a running back, so he's defending the position. He made one Pro Bowl in his,
That's enough.
11 years?
That's
I don't
enough.
know.
He is
Played in
defending
six,
it.
six playoff
Stop trying
games.
to demean us, the man,
His
Skip.
last playoff game he played in, he went 14 carries for 34 yards. That's 2.4 a carry. I don't know.
So-
What does he know?
So
That's
you
the
so
question.
you gonna diminish?
What does D'Angelo
So
know?
we're gonna end
you
this?
gonna diminish the man?
Yes,
Because of his
I am.
last playoff
I
game.
am.
Yes.
Skip.
Thank you.
On
Thank
that note, is Shannon starting to worry about his MVP pick, Andrew Luck? We'll discuss all the latest there. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here to tell you a bit more about 23andMe. Sure, DNA testing can tell you about where your ancestors are from, but did you know it could also give you a lot of genetic information about your health and traits? Understand more about yourself today and inform how you live your life going forward. 23andMe tracks many conditions such as harmful blood clots. Some F2, F5 genes help you stop bleeding if you get hurt, while other versions of these genes can also increase the risk for harmful blood clots. 23andMe also tracks hereditary breast and ovarian cancer. There are thousands of BRCA variations that can increase the risk for certain cancers. Both men and women can be affected. 23andMe reports do not diagnose disease or describe overall likelihood of developing any disease. 23andMe tests selected genetic variants only. Visit 23andme.com/undisputed for important test information. Order your health and ancestry kit at 23andme.com/undisputed, and you can meet your genes in 125 personalized genetic reports. That's the number 23andme.com/undisputed. 23andme.com/undisputed.
No mercy.
Well, the Colts have Super Bowl dreams, but unfortunately, there's already concerns about Andrew Luck's health less than a week into training camp. The quarterback is being shut down for at least the next two practices due to a calf strain that has bothered him since April. ESPN reported, quote, "It wouldn't be surprising if Luck didn't take a snap in the preseason." Here's the Colts quarterback on his latest setback.
The nature of it is a calf strain, and I say lower leg because I feel pain in my ankle area and calf strain, and I guess I'll get a little specific. I've had images and x-rays and everything, and my Achilles is not at extra risk. There is no tear or swelling in there or anything that's indicated, but so it's a calf strain. and we're on our feet a lot. And I know to be the best quarterback I want to be, to help this team like I want to help them, I can't be, I'm not looking for average. And if I'm going out here with pain, I'll be average. I will feel like an average quarterback, and I'll be an average quarterback. That's not good enough for me. That's not good enough for this club.
Well, Shannon, this guy is your MVP pick. So what do you make of this?
I love the professionalism. I just love to hear him talk.
You do?
I do, and how he explains it. Yeah, he got that country. I mean, he need that old Paul Bunyan, that red check, that Cabello shirt on to make it, because he
I
fits
don't think
that.
he's country. I just think he's nerdy.
Stop. I know you're not talking about
Nerdy
nerdy.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little country too. I hear it, both sides.
Maybe I'm not as worried as I should be, Skip, because it's starting to cause some concern for me, because as Jenny read, he's been dealing with this since April.
Yeah.
Well, Skip, here we are. We're about to start August. And maybe if it was the last preseason game and he's still dealing with this, I would be overly concerned. But I'm optimistic that they'll get to the root of this and see what's going on. He understands that in order for this team to take the next step, they won a playoff game last year. Skip, I believe they can win the division. I think they can win 11, 12 games, but they can only do that if Andrew Luck is taking virtually every snap. Now, they do have a little better backup situation than most. Jacoby Brissett is a very quality backup. Came from New England, played well, won a game from them there, and has played really well when given opportunities. So they have a nice quality backup, but he can't take them to where they need to be. Andrew Luck must do that. So, Skip, look, they're gonna be really, really smart about this, dealing with his injury history. And he mentioned that. We didn't get to that part, Skip. He's like, I made that mistake before. My shoulder was more injured than I thought. And I was like, I'm just going to fight through it. I'm not going to make a whole lot of fuss about it. And it cost him a year. Well, it costs you a year. You're going to be overly cautious. Because the least little pinch, you're like, nah, I ain't going to be able to go, bro. And so I think that's what he's doing. They're doing the right thing by letting him handle it this way. As I said before, Skip, if this was the last preseason game, I would be overly concerned. But because we're at the start of August and they don't play until, almost a week after Labor Day, I believe they'll get to the root of this. But then in the back of my mind, I'm saying, well, hell, it's been 3 months. Why haven't they gotten to the root of it already? So I'm not overly concerned, but I'm cautiously looking to see what's going on and how much longer this thing's going to linger into training camp.
So here we go again with Andrew Luck.
There you go.
It's always something with Andrew Luck. It always has been, and I believe it always will be.
Whatever.
Just for the record, before that draft, I said I have my doubts about the next John Elway, and all of the media just jumped aboard the bandwagon. He's here, the next John Elway. You should know a little something about Elway because you caught a bunch of passes from him, right?
I did.
And he's still not the next John Elway because right out of the box, and by the way, I said he'd be the second best quarterback in that draft to Robert Griffin III, and RG3 got off to a rip-roaring start. They actually struggled a little bit the first, but he was the offensive rookie of the year. Andrew Luck was second in the National Football League in turnovers as a rookie. Then 2 years later, 2014, he was second in the NFL in turnovers. And then 2016, he was tied for sixth. Then 2018, he was 10th in turnovers. So he's 8th overall in turnovers since his rookie year. That's not the next John Elway. Worse than that, in the postseason since his rookie year, the next Elway is number one in interceptions thrown per game and number one in turnovers committed per game, if you throw in the fumbles he has lost.
Well, Skip Haley threw like 10 against New England that way.
He threw 4.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the Deflategate game, right?
Yes.
So what have we seen right out of the box? The first year he lost to Ray and company, not with you, but obviously at Baltimore.
Yeah.
No shame there. But then the classic Andrew Luck game was the next year in Indy. And remember, they finally pulled it out 45 to 44. But that's after they fell behind 38 to 10 because he had thrown 3 interceptions. They're down 38 to 10 because of 3. Then Kansas City gets decimated by injuries on both sides of the ball. They lose all their running backs, a couple of receivers, both pass rushers are gone, and Alex Smith crumbled under the pressure. So anyway, But then we saw at Foxborough, we saw 4 interceptions one night, and then we saw 2 interceptions at Foxborough in another playoff game with very low QBRs. And then I made the mistake last year of thinking, well, he is the comeback player of the year. And boy, I love his new offensive line because they are really protecting Andrew Luck. And it was the first case of Diet Dew I have lost to you in a year. And I took Andrew Luck. Oh, shame on me.
Over who?
I took Andrew Luck at Kansas City in a playoff game.
Exactly.
And the final score was 31-13, not Andrew Luck. And his QBR in that game was 20 on a scale of 0 to 100, which is really not
Well, you
good.
lost 2 cases of Dew to me because they gave it to the old Cowboy. Remember they put that thing on the Cowboy?
No, that was not a case of Dew game.
You were scared. I forgot about that.
No, I think I got blinded by that game because that was 23-0, and it wasn't just Andrew Luck. It was the whole show. It was running, it was catching, it was dominant defense. It was 23-0.
Yep.
My team was not ready to play because my team thought it was in the catbird seat, and they weren't quite ready for that. My point is, Andrew Luck has always been the coach's dream who will try his darndest. You know, he'll try to run through and over people. He'll stand in the pocket too long and take 5 shots at once.
Not anymore.
Yeah, okay, but he does have some cauliflower body going on.
Yeah.
And this is eerily reminiscent of Kevin Durant because, like he's saying, I got a calf strain that has lingered since late April. So now we're going out, what's that, a couple of months now? Okay.
May, June, July. We're about to head into August.
Yeah, okay. And lower leg, so
And
calf muscles connect into the Achilles, but he says, the Achilles is...
And that's funny. That's odd to me, Skip, because I've had ankle injuries that didn't have no impact on my calf, and I've had calf injuries that had no impact on my ankle. So that's what's odd to me. He says that when he's throwing the ball, that it's his calf, but he feels it in his ankle. That's what's odd. That's what's odd to me because I've had calf strains. I missed 2 or 3 days of practice. You know, ice it, rest. You know, get a cup. You know, and I'm ready to go.
Okay.
And this guy has been dealing with this since late April.
Interesting.
So that's what, and that's, you know, I'm like, okay, the team should be very cautious with him. There's nothing to play for. And if he didn't even play in the preseason, he has a few new receivers. Paris Campbell was the first-round pick. They signed Devin Funchess.
I love Paris Campbell, by the way. He will help.
Yeah, they signed Devin Funchess in free agency. But T.Y. Hilton, Eric Ebron, you know, the offensive line is intact. So
it's a loaded football team.
Yeah. They signed Justin Houston, the pass rush out of Kansas City. So they're prime, Skip, to not only win the AFC South, but to make a deep playoff run because they're loaded. They're a very talented football team, but they're only going to go if Andrew Luck can stay upright for 16 games.
Or if he can turn into John Elway in the postseason, which he has not been. Am I right?
Yeah.
When has he been in the postseason? He's 4-4 in the postseason, 12 touchdowns to 13 interceptions, not Elway-esque.
Well, you know, you got to take care of the football because you pay double for turnovers in the playoffs. But I think the thing is, Skip, for me, and I've always felt this way, if you limp into the regular season, you limping out of it. It's hard. This is not a sport that you can get healthy on the job because you're playing week after week, and whatever is ailing you, guess what? Somebody's going to hit you on it. Someone's going to land on it.
Yep.
So I don't know how he's going to get healthier once the season starts. You just hope that he can get to a point that he can manage it and he doesn't do any more damage once the season starts than what's going on right now. But this is not a good sign. I mean, they're saying, well, we're not overly concerned, but you don't want your quarterback, the guy that everything is going to be predicated on, to have any kind of issues heading into the season.
Absolutely.
So why did I have my doubts about Andrew Luck as in his last year at Stanford? Because I actually watched all the big games. They played Oregon at home fairly early that year, and he stunk it up. They went to USC, and they did win a shootout against a pretty average USC team, but he threw a late pick six, picked off by Nickel Roby Coleman. Aha! He of Saints infamy, right? Aha!
Okay.
And then what happened in his final collegiate game in the Fiesta Bowl? Andrew Luck lost to Brandon Weeden. And I just said, I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't see that. I don't see what everybody else sees.
And what would he do? But see, what Skip failed to realize is that when he threw that pick against USC, Bradley Roby Coleman ran it back. He walked to the sideline and told David Shaw, I got this. I'm going to go win it. And what did he do, Skip? Tell the people at home now, if you're going to tie this.
Off. Yeah.
I mean, we got to tell the whole.
The full story.
Right,
Full
right. I mean, you tell a fairy.
Throw a late pick six that allows them back into the
You
game.
can if you gonna finish it off.
Oh,
Skip,
really?
you know how
Get it
fairy
done.
tales go. Fairy tales go. What they do, Jen? In the beginning, and then what you got to have the end. So Skip just want to give you in the beginning, but he didn't want to give you the end. I got to give you the
so
end.
after his third interception against Kansas City in that playoff game at Indy, it's 38-10 Kansas City. I assume he walked to the sideline and said, "I got it."
I got it.
Right?
Yeah, you told Chuck Pagano, sit, relax.
Really?
R
Are you
E-
ready to switch your MVP pick?
No.
I give you the option.
No,
I give you
no,
the right.
No,
Yep.
no,
You're
no.
sticking with it?
For the time being.
Really, for the time being.
To stay. We do have 5.5 weeks
Yeah, we have 5.5
before
weeks.
the Colts open
5.5 weeks, yeah.
against
Not,
the LA
not
Chargers.
a good sign.
No, it's not a
5.5
good sign
weeks.
because it's been 3.5 months, seems like, and there's no relief.
No mercy.
Training camps are off and running, and our old friend Dez Bryant is nowhere to be found. Dez hasn't played in a game since the end of the 2017 season, but claims he has no interest in resurrecting his career. In response to the reported lawsuit directed at Ezekiel Elliott surrounding a car accident in 2017, Dez tweeted this. "This is exactly why I don't have any interest in playing football right now. I have not reached out to an organization trying to play. People forget real quick we are still human. My anxiety and depression came from this type of stuff. What I realized is nobody cares but me." Dez later clarified that this does not mean he's retiring. So, Shannon, do you believe he doesn't want to play?
No, there's stop. These two have no Skip. These two don't go together. Let me, for the people at home that don't understand how the NFL works. Normally, when a team wants you, they reach out to you and your representative. Skip, when I got released by the Ravens in 2001, within a day, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Seahawks called my agent and said, "We'd like to schedule a visit to have Shannon come in." Now, I told Marvin I wasn't going to Denver because I had just spent 12. I just spent 10 years there.
Marvin Lewis? Yeah.
No, Marvin Demoff.
Oh, Marvin, I thought you Marvin.
Marvin.
Yeah.
I was like, I know Mike Shanahan.
Yep.
I know the offensive coordinator. I know everything.
Yep.
So I'm not going there. I'm not paying them a visit.
Okay.
Tell them,
Okay.
but I'll be very interested in returning, considering how they want to use me.
Need to
So I went to the Raiders and went to Seattle. Skip, that's how it works. When they want you, they call you. They call your representative. Now, Dez is being disingenuous, Skip, because here's the thing. You remember when he got released by the Cowboys, I think it was April, maybe May, he didn't get a call until November. He tears his Achilles in his first practice.
He did.
So it's been a year since then, and a torn Achilles. And you think teams are going to be clamoring? They're going to be diving over walls like, we got to have Dez Bryant? A guy that was really never known for his foot speed. He doesn't run the route tree well at all. And so what? That situation with TMZ, we understand what TMZ is. Like them, dislike them, whatever. They are what they are. They've broken a lot of stories, though.
Yeah.
But he's making it seem like they made this story up. Did it happen?
Yep.
It did. The only thing that we didn't know at the time, because Skip, I remember talking about it with Zeke's okay, yada, yada, yada. Okay, what the gentleman is saying, from what I can gather, is that it was not a fender bender. $30,000+ worth of damage is not a fender bender. I've been in accidents before. And fender benders is so I would consider something less than $1,000, Skip. You start getting in the tens, the $20,000 to $30,000, that's not a fender bender. That's a big collision. And TMZ doing what they do. They reported it and said, well, we have information that someone told us, and the guy says is covering it up. That's one of the perks about playing in Dallas, Skip. They do a really good job of that. Now, this is not mutually exclusive to Dallas. There are a lot of teams that have a great relationship with departments, and when they're able to sweep things under the rug, that it doesn't get all the way out. Dez, I ain't gonna go into great detail, has been a big beneficiary of things of that nature. And he knows exactly what I'm talking about. So to say, oh, this is why I'm not, in the league right now because of what TMZ, no, you're not in the league right now because nobody wants you. Because it took you 6 months to get on the team, and you tear your Achilles, and you're a year older. So good luck. But Dez, be truthful. Just like, hey, if you want to comment and says, man, I hate this for Zeke, that they put his business out there like that, say that. But don't try to conflate the two, tie the two together and says, The reason why I'm not in the NFL is because of things like this, because they have no bearing on each other.
So I'm with everything you just said and then some, because I think Dez is trying to say that the reason he has fallen out of love with playing football is because he doesn't want to play in a city like Dallas, which, trust me, I know it. I lived there a long time. It can be Sin City for Dallas Cowboys because everybody wants to be your friend, and everybody is quick to provide you with whatever you want to self-destruct.
Whatever your vice is, they got it for
whatever, it's free. We'll get this for you. You need that. You need this. You need that. And he is saying that the spotlight in Dallas is unfairly, harshly bright.
Okay.
And yet, it's not too bright for those who mind their business, right? I mean, there are thousands of Cowboys have gone through Dallas, and we don't read a word about them because they just kind of keep to themselves and they stay out of harm's way, right? And that's either in the public eye or in the private life, in your home life.
Right.
And Dez didn't avoid the spotlight publicly or even privately.
Correct.
So I'm going to give you a quick cautionary tale. I will never forget the afternoon of July 15th, 2015. I had just been here in LA to do some ESPY shows on ESPN. And I was at the gate at LAX to fly back to New York City. And the news broke. Jerry finally gave Dez his money that he had earned in 2014 when he led the NFL in touchdowns.
Yep.
Remember, 2014 ended with Dez caught it because he did catch it, but he didn't get the catch, and they didn't get the win at Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron went on to Seattle where Dallas had won a regular season game. So anyway, the point is, that was a big-time year.
Yeah, for sure.
He got his money that day, and so I am tweeting from the gate at the airport on my phone, hooray for Jerry, he got it done.
Right.
And he got it done to the tune of 5 years, $70 million. And it seemed like a lot of money, but it also seemed like Dez was worth it. Do you realize, little did I know, sitting at my gate at LAX, I had seen the best of Dez Bryant.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yep.
I had seen the best of it. Dez caught it. That was the height of Dez.
Wow.
And from that moment on, it went straight downhill. Because ironically, he quickly suffered what is called a Jones fracture, not Jerry Jones, but just a Jones fracture in his foot that derailed him. And then that led to another injury, which led to another injury. He's a high contact receiver who tries to run through a lot of contact. And as you know, he became a broken down shell of himself.
Right.
And he had no rapport with the new quarterback in 2016, Dak Prescott, drafted in the 4th round, who took over for his soulmate, Tony Romo, who threw him 1,000 jump balls, and he caught about 500 of them,
And that was the thing. And Skip, and I want to make sure, I'm not trying to look. If Dez is suffering from anxiety or mental illness, hopefully he can get the treatment that he seeks. So I don't want to say, well, Shannon, you don't show any compassion. But what I am doing is I don't believe that the reason why Dez Bryant is not currently playing in the NFL is because of issues about TMZ breaking stories that
totally agree.
To have disappeared.
Dez would crawl back to be able to be in that spotlight again. As much anxiety and depression as it might cause, he misses his football. And I feel sorry for him because his career got derailed way prematurely. He just turned 30.
Skip, here's a guy that grew up in Lufkin, Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Now, we thought Kawhi was a Laker fan. We thought Paul George. But his dream was to play for the Dallas Cowboys as a wide receiver. He got that.
There are no Clippers in Dallas.
Exactly. So, Skip, you mean to tell me Dez Bryant is perfectly okay with his career? The last we remember of Dez Bryant is him getting cut by the Dallas Cowboys. His final year in Dallas. You telling me Dez Bryant is okay with that on his resume? No way, no how. Skip, Carmelo Anthony has gold medals. Carmelo Anthony led the league in scoring. He's been finished second in the MVP. He wants to go out the way he wants to go out. But Dez Bryant wants to go out with the last, what we remember of him, being released in his last year in Dallas. Come on, Dez, man. Nobody buying that.
So just ahead of Jerry giving him his big deal in 2015, Ian Rappaport of NFL.com reported that he had found 6 instances of police being called to Dez Bryant's house. And he listed all kinds. There was a harassment incident. There was an alleged robbery at his house. Fire department had to come and unlock his car with a sleeping baby inside. It was just one thing after another, after another. And then if I could just hit a few of the lowlights on the timeline here for Dez Bryant.
As we lose a few lights.
God is saying, I don't even want you to keep going. Right? But here are a few of the lowlights. We go back to Oklahoma State, where he had one incident after another. Was finally suspended for his last 10 college games, junior year, because NCAA investigators found that he had lied about a legal lunch he had had with Deion Sanders. And speaking of Deion, May 2011, Deion publicly cuts ties with Dez, saying, quote, "Everybody is worried. I think the Dallas Cowboys are more concerned than I am. I had to cut my umbilical cord with him because a lot of things people do not even know about." Does that remind you a little bit of a current running back for the
Skip, like I said,
Interesting.
when you work in our business, Skip, we hear things that even fans in Dallas don't know, or the fans outside of Dallas have no idea about. I'm not here to put anybody's business, but Dez better be glad he played for the Cowboys. Because if any of the stuff that you're talking about, Dez would have never played another down in the NFL. So Dez, while you knocking what the spotlight is like in Dallas, you better be thankful that you play in Dallas. And you got an owner like Jerry Jones that's very, very good. And he's done very well by a lot of people that's taking care of your butt. So don't bite the hand that feeds you, bro. You don't want to play football? Hey, guys, I'm done. I had a great run at it. Hey, it didn't end like I wanted to end. I'm cool with that. But don't come out here, oh, Zeke, they bringing this up over Zeke, and this why I'm not playing, or this why I don't want to play. Bruh, if somebody called you, you be right there in camp. But they haven't called you because, remember, you had no injuries, and it was till November. It was because New Orleans had dropped a couple of receivers. That they called you. And the first practice, you tear your Achilles. Now this a year later, and a torn Achilles later. How many teams you think gonna be lining up to sign Dez Bryant, Skip? Let's be real, man. People need to be real with this.
10 years from now, do you think there'll be a moment Dez will be on his couch and sit back and think, man, I wish I knew then what I know now?
Absolutely.
100%.
Right?
Absolutely. Skip, I do it all the time. I say all the time, man, I wish I had the knowledge that in my last 5 years of the league, eating and sleeping and doing this and doing that. And now the technology is even better. The medicine is even better.
It's way better.
So, absolutely. Knowing Dez know he was supposed to be better than Dez. Skip, we had the discussion in 2014, and I remember partaking in it. Who's the best receiver, Julio Jones or Dez Bryant? There was no mention of AB. There was no Mike. I don't even know if Mike Evans was with it, but it was these two guys. It was Dez Bryant and Julio. Who's the best receiver?
I was arguing for Dez.
Yes.
Which means in my career, I'm not sure I've seen what I thought was a superstar crater as quickly as this one did. He cratered. And I feel for him. I do. And to your point, if you're having psychological issues, God bless you.
Get help.
But the point is, what a plummet for a star to go from 2014, I got my money, to down, down, down. He had 16 touchdowns in 2014. The next 3 years in Dallas, he had 17 total touchdowns. What does that tell you? You just lost it.
Oh, but that was because the TMZ was prying in his life.
Well, what do you think happens? This is it? Or we see him
I
somewhere?
don't see.
I don't see anybody
I don't see it.
taking a shot.
Okay. All right. We're going to switch gears to Zion Williamson. Is he already thinking about leaving New Orleans? Has he even gotten there yet? We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
Summer is finally here, and if you're looking to keep up with your fitness on hot, busy days without hitting the gym, we have to tell you about the latest from Peloton, The Tread. Live and on-demand running, strength, boot camp, walking, and stretching classes. A total body workout experience reimagined, all from the comfort of your home. To clarify, this is not another treadmill. Unleash your inner competitor. Live performance metrics like speed, incline, and mileage. Push yourself even further with real-time encouragement from your instructors and other members in class. Work up a sweat with world-class instructors who are running, walking, stretching, or lifting right by your side. The motivation is real-time and crazy effective. Discover the immersive and challenging total body training you can get from Peloton Tread. Peloton is offering listeners a limited time offer. Go to onepeloton.com, use the code UNDISPUTED to get $100 off accessories with the purchase of a tread.
No mercy.
Zion Williamson hasn't even played a regular season game with the Pelicans yet, but he's already being asked about his future. The number one pick was asked if he'll spend his entire career in New Orleans, and here was his answer. Personally, I've always told myself I want to stay with one team. Growing up, I loved what Kobe did and Dirk did. Some people want to stay with one team, but they get traded. My intentions are to stay with the Pelicans my whole career, but if something happens, I wouldn't leave because I hate the place. It's just the business. So, Shannon, are you surprised he said this?
Skip, I am, because it opens up the conversation. And I've said this, Skip. Remember, the curve, we always talk about the head of the curve. Mm-hmm. Nah, we weren't even into the curve. I was on top of this because I told you what was going to happen. You only shake. That Sharpedamus is what they call it.
That'd be the first example of that.
That's the name, okay.
Skip, it opens up the conversation for down the road. Did LeBron James leave Cleveland because he disliked Cleveland? No, he felt that there was a better opportunity for him to win a title in Miami. And then he left again, whatever you think the reasons were. I don't believe he left Cleveland at no point in time because he disliked it. And so, Skip...
I don't know about that. Did he dislike the winters in Cleveland?
No.
Yes.
I think...
Did he dislike the smallness of Cleveland? Yes.
No.
Yes.
I think he disliked... I think the second time around, he disliked Dan Gilbert. I think that had a lot to do with it, Skip. But when I look at it, what I wish he would have said, and he can do it anyway, I'm 19. Have yet to even play I haven't even dribble a ball in New Orleans. I'm here. Let's just focus on the now.
Yeah.
And 20 years from now, 10 years, 15 years from now, we'll talk about that now. Skip, did you know this? And me and Steve be on this thing, Jenny. Mm-hmm. We be on it.
Sure.
We be on it.
Up
We
all
be on
night.
it.
Who is Steve again?
Steve Owens.
Your puppet master.
No, he ain't. I mean, we 1-1. Mm-hmm. It's like we coach Belichick and Tom Brady.
I heard you guys prepping today.
He did win a Heisman.
Yeah. we coach Belichick and Tom Brady. The only active players that have played 10 years all in one place in all the NBA, 10 years, Udonis Haslem and Steph Curry. They're over 400 players, Skip. 10 years. Mm-hmm. So the likelihood of we seeing another Tim Duncan, 19 years at one place. Kobe Bryant, Dirk Nowitzki, 20 years in one place. John Stockton, 19 years. Skip, the likelihood of that happening is not very good. And it just opens up a case, so now the speculation. Skip, and I get it, because we saw Kyrie at the beginning of last year say he wanted to re-sign if you would have me.
Yeah.
And halfway through the season, he wanted out of Boston. After he had just said that like 3-4 months ago, Skip. We don't know what's going to happen, but I have a strong indication that Zion Williamson will not play his entire career in New Orleans.
All I know is I believe that he, at this moment, believes he will play his whole career in New Orleans. All I know for sure is this kid is shattering the mold.
What mold?
The mold of the too cool superstar who's above it all. This kid is not afraid or ashamed to show his emotion, to play and speak with uncool joy and passion and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
He is a little kid in a big man's body.
Yes.
And he plays to that. He lets that come out. He lets the little kid come out, and he's not embarrassed by it.
No.
Most superstars are just too cool for that. They gotta like distance themselves and protect and don't show the media that.
Well,
that's a little lame. That's a little corny. That's a little cliche.
Well, sometimes, Skip, you know, when you play a professional sport, you thought of as an adult, but he's 19, and he says, I don't have to be more grown up than I have to be. I'm 19. I'm gonna be a kid. I'm gonna talk like a kid would talk. You know, sometimes we feel like, dude, are you sure he's 19? The way he's talking like he's 30.
okay? What have we seen more and more from LeBron and Kevin Durant? That they've gone anti-hero. LeBron curses in public all the time.
Sometimes.
And he does. He goes F words and SH words constantly in public.
Shoot,
on
shut.
That's what he should do.
Okay.
More Tom language.
Okay. Yeah, more Tom language. Tom can go a little,
Yeah.
little blue,
Yeah.
as they
Yeah,
say,
but
every once in a while.
it's timing
okay?
for him.
But this kid is going straight role model, and he's not trying. It's just he's just being himself, and he's not ashamed of who he really is. So to me, this is a new deal because it's refreshing to see, again, even Kevin Durant, he just goes, what I call him, Kevin Durant. He'll just go on rants against the media and against his team and against this. He's always at it with somebody, and his language has gotten worse and worse in public. And it gives them a little, as they say, street cred. It can help you sell your brand, right?
Yes.
But Zion's trying to go the other way. And I don't think there's one fake bone in his body. I could be wrong.
I agree.
Okay, to your point, does he really? He's still 18, right? I think.
Yeah,
19.
he's 19.
He just turned
earlier
19.
this
Yeah,
month,
that's right. He just had
Just
a
had a
birthday.
birthday.
At 19, having not dribbled one dribble in a real NBA game, I think he has no earthly idea what's about to transpire.
Exactly.
Because you didn't when you were a 7th-round pick out on the training camp practice field. But you did at least have a big brother who could show you the ropes. He does not have a big brother.
And definitely did. 19, I was heading into my sophomore season of college.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going to happen 10 years from,
Okay.
I had hoped.
Okay, so I do believe that he loves where he is.
Yes.
New Orleans is a great place. It's
yeah.
really good. Is it the best NBA? No, it doesn't really have any tradition or history. But he's thinking, I'll start one.
I didn't want the boudin. They too fake. I like stuff,
Okay, well, I hope he doesn't like too much of that.
well,
We'll
yeah,
have
yeah.
some problems.
Skip, first of all, he from Spartanburg, South Carolina. You don't get that big without he eating biscuits and gravy.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, he eating chicken and dumplings, and mac and
And
cheese.
they're saying he's still growing, so.
But he got a great break because he has landed with one of the best general managers in basketball.
Oh, yeah.
A guy LeBron
Griff.
knows well from.
Griff loves it.
Okay,
LeBron loves Griff.
Okay, so you've got that working for you, and you're going to a team that just was able to pull off a big trade and restock with, I think, 3 really good to great young players. Okay?
I will agree with you,
Okay.
Skip. I believe this team is going to be really fun to watch.
Okay.
They're going to be up and down.
Right.
I love Alvin Gentry as a head coach.
So do I, and I love Drew Holiday. He's always
do
been a
too.
class act and one of the better two-way, maybe at the top of the
I think they're going to be a
two-ways.
better defensive team than people think because you got true Lonzo out front, and then you got Zion's. Hey, now he might not be the greatest on ball, but
Yep.
coming from the weak side, he's going to throw a lot of people's stuff up in the stands.
And I loved what Zion said straight from his heart about Lonzo Ball, and I endorse 1,000% because he said, I'm expecting Lonzo to come into his own, and he went into detail about LA was tough. Obviously, you got Dad hanging over you, you got Magic hanging over you, you got
Hey, your
proclamation that your jersey's going to be up in the rafters hanging over you. You got a dysfunctional organization. It was just bad to worse. I'm still a Lonzo fan. I love the dynamic duo that these two could become because what Lonzo does best, Zion does best.
Right.
Can you imagine the lob
Lobs.
dunks? Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this could be Lob City,
Yeah,
right?
It's gonna be they're gonna be a very exciting team.
And
they
as
will
he
get
said, they're going to play breakneck speed.
Yes.
And Lonzo, with the ball in his hands, there's nobody much faster up and down than Lonzo Ball. So if they get out and run and have fun, they're going to be a factor. They're going to be a growing force to be reckoned with in the Western Conference. They're obviously in the tougher conference. They are not picked as we speak to even make the 8th playoff spot,
Right.
but I still give them a shot. And he was asked, could Lonzo turn into the best point guard in the league? And his comment was, that is in his future, said Zion of Lonzo.
Right.
Love that.
Yeah,
Believe that.
But I just think now, Skip, the way the league is set up, you're just going to see player movement. Guys are just going to move.
You know, you could be right, but when he says from his heart, I grew up watching Kobe stay and watching Dirk stay. 20 plus 20, right? 20-year careers. And he's saying that's who I want to be.
Right.
I want to be that guy.
Right.
I want to be that pillar in New Orleans.
But Skip, it was a different time then.
Okay, well, you could
Basically,
be right.
since
but-
2010, we've seen since LeBron made that move in 2010, Skip,
Okay.
we've seen the player move.
Okay.
Yeah. 40% of players who made All-NBA last season switched teams via free agency or trade. 40%.
Okay. But
It's the
shattering mold?
Shattering
Is
mold.
it possible he's just so different that he doesn't care?
We'll find out.
Okay. Is he going to have to take some hometown discounts to make it 20 years?
Oh, no. The discount.
Yeah.
Man, why you? I haven't seen you one time at Family Dollar or Dollar General, the 5 and dime store. You always talking about discount. Did they give you a discount on that Corvette?
Well, it's not a Ferrari.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
a Lamborghini.
But did they give you a discount? No. Okay then.
I
Stop.
paid sticker, but that's okay.
Okay then.
all right.
Well, you gonna pay sticker for Zion.
You should
sticker.
ask me about my other car, and then we'd have a conversation. But
They ripped you off.
ask?
Oh,
Was
you
that-
traded
was
you
that
traded
you?
in on that.
no,
Oh, they ripped you
no,
off.
not that.
Oh, okay.
It
The
is
other car.
refreshing,
Ernestine's
though.
car.
Oh man, you gave Ernestine a bucket.
Well,
She's
what
driving
face
around
was
here going
that?
like 40 miles an hour.
Jeez.
I have no comment.
No comment.
You might
Skip,
eat
have
those
you
words.
ever said
You got a new
I
car?
have no
You got a new
comment?
car, Skip?
She does.
Okay.
What?
All
What?
right. He said
What'd you-
no
what'd you get,
comment,
Skip? What'd you
Shannon.
get, Skip?
We got to leave it at that.
Ernestine, that thing on Riddell like this here.
What is the real
That is true.
reason Zeke does not have a new deal? We're moving on from cars. We will discuss Zeke and the latest next.
No mercy.
Let's go back now to Ezekiel Elliott. He is reportedly continuing his holdout in Cabo, and yesterday Stephen Jones said that Zeke needs to understand there's a, quote, real salary cap. TMZ also reported a new lawsuit that alleges that the Cowboys conspired with police to cover up a 2017 car crash involving Elliott. The other driver said he suffered serious injuries, but the police said it was just a minor accident. And he alleges that Cowboys running backs coach Garrett Brown showed up to the scene and told him, quote, we will take care of everything, but he hasn't received any money. So Shannon, how much should these off-the-field issues factor into Zeke's negotiations?
For me, Skip, it shouldn't factor into it.
Not at all.
Not at all. You know why? Because his play on the field hadn't suffered. Skip, the Dallas Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott.
Wait, I got to cross that.
Okay.
Real quick. It did cost them six games.
right.
Okay, so that suffered not performance,
Right.
but availability suffered because he was gone. But go ahead.
But you and I both believe not to relitigate what transpired.
I
That maybe that
totally
should that
agree.
should not have happened.
Should not have happened.
Skip, when I look at it, Ezekiel Elliott has been everything the Dallas Cowboys hoped he would be on the field. Ezekiel Elliott has been everything they thought he would be off of it. Skip, when you go take a guy with the 4th pick overall, you don't just go talk to high school and college coaches. When you got that kind of reach, you talk to people around. They knew exactly what they were getting with Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay.
It's called production intolerance. And the reason why they tolerate what Zeke does is because his production is up here. So production is up here, Jenny. Tolerance is also up here. But let me tell you what will never happen. Tolerance will never outweigh production. Because the moment that production starts to slip, they're going to get Zeke up out of there. That's just the way it is. So, Skip Bayless, I don't really what? You're gonna tie like, okay, if you get in trouble, you have to give us some of this money back? Because Zeke is looking at it like, okay, I've led the league in rushing 2 out of 3 years. Yeah, I pulled the lady's top down. That was bad. He shouldn't have done that. Yeah.
Yep.
But Skip, I'm just saying.
Don't do it again.
Yeah, I bumped it. But I told you, remember Vegas? I said, Skip, go ahead and break the guy off so you don't have to deal with this. Now he got Zeke. Skip, when I talk to these guys, I'm telling you things that either I personally know about or if it happened to me. It happened to me. Skip I was in Denver, did $200 worth of damage. The guy had no idea who I was, Jenny, until the tow truck driver that was at the 7-Eleven came over and saw him. He's like, hey, Shannon, how you doing, man? I'm sorry to hear about your injury. And the dude looked at me and was like, oh, you Shannon Sharpe? Skip, we're in the middle of Parker Road. He grabs his neck and go down on both knees.
How'd you handle it?
I let the insurance company handle it. And then he talking about he wanted 3 signed footballs and 2 jerseys. I said, kick rocks. But anyway, Skip Bayless, Ezekiel Elliott has been so good on the field that they've tolerated his behavior off the field. Because when Zeke was getting in all this trouble, that Jerry, you know how Jerry good. Jerry's a good disinfectant. Man, Jerry can clean up anything. If it happens in Dallas, if Jerry Jones can't clean it up, Skip, you made a mess. Cause you know, hey, I used to spill stuff when I was a little boy. My granny said, boy, don't worry about it. Granny will get it. My grandma couldn't get it up. It wasn't going to be got. If Jerry can't clean it up, it can't be. And that's what they've done with Zeke. So they've emboldened him. A lot of this problem is what the Cowboys have created, Skip. But he's not going to give. Skip, when you in that moment and you're trying to get your money, you don't see any of the negatives. You don't see anything that you do off the field because all you think you're being judged on is what you do on the field. Because Jerry's like, well, do you want me to be a model citizen and a terrible player, or you want me to be, you'd like to have both. But I'm just saying, more times than not, Skip, give me the great player that I can deal with some of the behaviors if he's not killing him. But obviously, there are examples to this. But Zeke is not giving them a discount, and it shouldn't because he's playing his tail off, and he's going to lead the league in rushing again, and it's going to be 3 out of 4 years, and he's going to get $1 more than Todd Gurley, and you and I both will be happy.
Call it a day?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I don't see it the way you see it. My only problem with Ezekiel Elliott is the same problem Jerry has times 1,000. He is the riskiest bet in the entire National Football League. I don't know a riskier bet.
No.
High risk, but high reward. Maybe you can't go places without him, as in go to Miami for the Super Bowl,
Well,
right?
you said that high risk, high reward, but 2 times 2. What position does he play? So it's even the shorter shelf life with that risk.
That is correct. So the key to the TMZ reported lawsuit is alleged cover-up.
Correct.
What does Jerry do about as well as he manages the salary cap? He can cover up, man.
Jerry Jones
I know. I lived it for many years in Dallas. I watched it. Some of it I could not report because I didn't quite know enough, or I had agreed, and that's not that big a deal. I'll look the other way.
Yes.
But Jerry can cover up because Jerry can pull strings like nobody can pull in Dallas, Texas, and sometimes in other cities around the country. He is a powerful man. And I believe he has pulled strings that we have no idea about. I believe he has covered up more minor incidents, bar fight type incidents, that we don't know anything about. He knows all about them. He knows chapter and verse of what happened at The Ohio State University behind the scenes because it was not a pretty story. And we know about all the sexual assault allegations, domestic violence allegations by the alleged victim who knew him at The Ohio State, right? And it escalated from there. It went to the incident in Dallas, blah, blah, blah. We know about all kinds of things that have happened in Dallas and now in Las Vegas. This is why Jerry has to sit back and think, do I have another Dez on my hand? Well, yeah, in ways they're different. You know, their incidents are of different varieties, but the point is, Dez was a handful. Jerry had to assign a full-time, what he called a manager, to basically live with Dez to keep him on the straight and narrow, right?
Yep.
Even to get him to show up on time.
Wild to remember.
Okay?
Yeah.
He did do that. I don't think it's come to this for Zeke, but I don't know. Maybe there is. I don't know.
I mean, think about people at home. Think about this. Your boss, to get you to show up to work in which you're being compensated for, they hire someone else to basically live with you or come by your house to wake you up and bring you to work. Let that sink in for just a second. Where they do that at?
Well, as I just said, Ian Rappaport had reported
At Dallas.
But before he got his 5 years, $70 million, the police, according to NFL.com, had been called to Zeke's house 6 different times.
To Dez's house.
I'm sorry, to Dez's house, not to Zeke. To
Yes.
Dez's house.
Right.
6 different times.
Yes.
That's pre-contract.
Right.
And it kept on keeping on.
But
so, do you think Jerry regrets 5 years, $70 million for Dez Bryant?
Well, Skip, no. I think the thing is because after what you mentioned it, he saw what he saw in 2014. In 2014, Dez is what, 22, 23? So he's saying that production is going to keep going up. I'm going to get at least 3-4 more years of that. But
You're right, because Dez just turned 30. Okay.
So Skip, and he's thinking, oh, I'm going to get me 3, 4, 5 more years of that. Okay. You never thought it was going to be a downturn. You go from having 16 touchdowns in one season to 17 over the next 3, and you're never that player again. Dez Bryant, from that point on, was never thought of as a top 5 receiver. As it progressed, he couldn't even crack the top 10.
No, he could not. So I remember the fateful 2017 car accident involving Zeke, and it was his fault. He was at fault.
We talked about
it. We talked about it, and now the allegation is that he was hurt more than you thought, and he should have been in concussion protocol, and that was ahead of the Green Bay playoff game against Aaron Rodgers at Jerry World.
Correct.
When they had gone 3-13, and they were going to have home field advantage for the potential NFC Championship game. Right.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe he shouldn't have even played. Jerry had to pull some big strings to get Zeke on the field.
Well, that's what he said. It was a minor fender bender.
Okay.
But the question, but my thing is this. Look, everybody knows the insurance. I watch enough of these excellent lawyers. You never accept responsibility. I don't care if you ran 15 red lights and hit 5 people. I ain't saying no. It wasn't. No, I was not at fault. Because guess what? You say you're at fault, thinking you're just gonna fix the car. Now he got a back. Now his neck. Now his head hurt. And so now what you said, well, I admitted I was wrong. You signed up for a host of injuries that might last forever.
Yeah.
So now I didn't. Hey, nope.
Okay, I believe that Jerry is factoring in the high riskiness of Zeke into why he's trying to keep this down to a low roar, why he doesn't want to go way over Todd Gurley money, $45 million guaranteed, $14.4 million a year, because Zeke has proven to be too high risk off the field, and he did it again in Las Vegas recently, right?
Yeah.
It's not like he grew up and grew out of all this.
But what seems to be the common denominator? Now, the allegations about the sexual assault notwithstanding, but from what we know, what seems to be the common denominator, Skip? If you at a bar, what did they do? What they serve at a bar? When you're in Vegas, what did it look like? It wasn't in a Mardi Gras type weekend when he's on that rooftop with that female.
Full partying.
So what seems to be the common denominator? See, Skip, I believe the overriding theme, the reason why Jerry is hesitant, okay, I give you $45 million. Now, $45 million when Todd Gurley was 8 games, people like Todd Gurley was in the MVP conversation. Now people keep talking about he has arthritic knees. Jerry has to ask himself, I give you $45 million $1, what is that going to look like 2 years from now?
Okay.
Am I going to be like, what the hell did I get myself into?
Okay. Of Dak, Amari, and Zeke, which contract has the highest probability of coming back to haunt you? Well, it's Zeke's contract, right?
Yeah, okay, the position.
It could just blow up right in your face.
Just the position.
Okay, just the position. Although he's been very durable at the position so far, high contact. Okay, now we get to the bottom line, the psychological ramifications of all the above. I told you yesterday, Jerry has gone way out of his way to try to keep this young man eligible. He has pulled strings. Publicly, privately, he has fought for him. He has maybe even overly defended him. He has put Jerry's reputation on the line with the league to fight for Ezekiel Elliott. And I know Jerry well enough to know that when Zeke didn't show for the first day of camp, it stung him because his reaction was,
Bro,
I went to all these links for this kid, and now this is the way he pays me back?
I hear that.
Not only that, but he insults me he goes to Cabo during his holdout?
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
Cabo's.
My name is Luca.
You know.
You ain't had no problem when he was suspended 6 games and he came back in tip-top shape. He was in better shape when he came back from Cabo than when he showed up for training camp. Remember how you was talking about like he got a little double chin and like Zeke put on some weight?
I agree, but now it comes across like, I'll just go on vacation while you guys are working your tails off out in that heat out in Oxford.
Well, let me take that back, Skip. I think the contract that has the biggest ramification to come back to bite him would be Dak. Because if you give him that kind of money, Skip,
again, I believe in Dak more than you do.
But you said the hardest position to find. So if you give a guy $100+ million, and then after a couple of years you got to get up off him and go back into the market.
You could argue. I'm just saying I believe in him more than you do.
Yeah.
I believe he can live up to his. I just don't. The truth is, I don't trust Zeke. I trust him on the field if you can get him on the field. I really trust him. Okay, but
unfortunately, they don't play games 24 hours a day.
Nope.
So he got to go home.
Okay.
There are just so many layers to Zeke. We honestly have something new about the guy every day. Another guy that we like to talk about around here, Big Ben. Are we going to see a new Big Ben this season? We'll tell you when he's saying next.
No mercy.
Ben Roethlisberger has been under fire the past couple of seasons for his leadership skills, but the 16-year vet defended himself this week. Both Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell took shots at Ben's leadership after they left Pittsburgh. So USA Today asked Big Ben about this issue, and he said, "No one likes to be talked about, but honestly, they're gone. So I can't concern myself with what people outside this locker room are saying. The thing about being a leader, and I'd like to think I'm a good leader, I've been doing it a long time, is that leadership is about winning football games. That should speak for itself." We are joined by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings this morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning. Good to be
Shannon, though, I'm going to start with you. Do you agree with Ben?
Hell no. Just because you win doesn't make you a great leader. If Ben thinks that's really what it's about, that you just won games, I'm a great leader now. No, Ben, you know better than this. And everybody talks about, well, you know, he's on the Super Bowl teams, but was he really the leader? When you go back to that first Super Bowl, they had Hines Ward, Bus Bettis, Joey Porter, Alan Faneca.
Randall L.
Yeah, as Ben and as these guys moved on, you saw Ben and you noticed they hadn't won since. You noticed that, Skip? And the thing is, I know one likes to be talked about, but those guys are gone. It's like it was all those guys' fault. Could AB have handled things better? Sure. I don't really know what they want. Why you blaming Le'Veon? He was a holdout. He didn't come back. So what were you mad at him? He didn't want to play under the franchise tag. He didn't want you to put another 400 touches on his body at that salary. And they still mad at him for some reason. He wasn't there. Nobody said a thing. They got up to I think they got up to 7-2. Nobody mentioned Le'Veon Bell. But the moment they started losing, it's Le'Veon's fault. That whole it was a distraction. You weren't distracted when you were winning, but now all of a sudden you started losing. That's what Ben doesn't get, Skip. It's not winning. Yes, winning helps, but winning will not mask everything. And if you don't have great leadership, you see what happens when you didn't win, Ben? Boom! I guess you weren't the leader you thought you were, because that's not your forte, Ben. It's not. And I've talked to too many guys in there. He just doesn't get it. Let them tell him, he can criticize players openly. Been on a lot of teams, won a lot of games, Skip Bayless. I've never, ever had in 14 years of playing a player, the quarterback, not just a player, the quarterback openly and publicly criticize another player. If he thinks that's great leadership because he's won a couple of Super Bowls, therein lies the problem.
I agree 100% with everything you said. For me, one of the statements that sticks out immediately is winning. Leadership is about winning. So then my question becomes, well, what happens when you don't win? How do you lead when you don't win? Because that's what you're alluding to. They started out 7-2, then they start losing. Where is the leadership? That's when I need to see it the most. When things aren't going my way or our way, who's going to step up? Who can I look into their eyes and see the confidence and see their reaction to where we are, adverse situations, and they say we're good? And I can believe it because my eyes tell me, you really believe what you're telling me. That's what Ben Roethlisberger has to do. Now, has he done that in his career? Of course. I truly believe he's done that. Can he do it again? Yes. I think that without these guys, and I'm not going to say these guys, I'm going to just say Antonio Brown. Without Antonio Brown now in that locker room, another alpha male, another guy who's taken a lot of the attention away from Ben Roethlisberger and the pressure off of him because of the plays that he's able to make, now you have this team under your leadership solely, pretty much. It's up to you to make the change. And for me, I'm not sure if he can do it because it goes beyond just Antonio Brown. When I listen to a coach, a head coach, give instruction or say a thing, and then your leader comes out and does an opposite thing, or he's counterproductive by what he's saying in the media, that's not leadership. That's not leadership. That's putting everything on yourself and putting yourself in front of the team. There was a play, the last thing, there was a play 2 years ago, Skip, against the New England Patriots. It was second down. They're yelling, we have no more timeouts. We're not going to clock it. Ben Roethlisberger, I have no problem with what he said after the game, with the exception of one thing. He said he ended up throwing an interception on 3rd down. Because he didn't clock it, in his mind he said, you know what, they were yelling from the sideline, don't clock it. I wanted to clock it, but I didn't. Okay, you now have made the decision as a leader on what we're going to do. Just own it. When you don't own it, everyone looks like, well, we can pass the buck, we can point the finger. That's my issue with Ben Roethlisberger.
I'm about to defend Ben Roethlisberger
Go
against
Good luck.
both of you because
Good luck.
he is my early pick to be the MVP this year and have a big bounce-back season, and his team is still a little better than the Cleveland Browns, so I'm picking them to win that division and to be the surprise team beyond the Cleveland Browns. All I know is for sure that in all my years of covering this league, I have never seen a quarterback get a team to a Super Bowl who was disruptive or divisive at that position. So I don't think Ben was ever disruptive or divisive in the leadership position on the football field. I think you guys are condemning him in ways he does not deserve because there's truth in what he said. If you get to 3 Super Bowls and you win 2 of them, lost 1 to you have to have some leadership skill in you. You have to have some, by example, leadership, charisma, even in your body language. And I do think he's a big game, big play player, and always has been. Again, he got faced with 2 me-first social media me-ism players in Antonio and Le'Veon. They became social media victims, both of them. As it rose, they rose with it, and they lost all perspective on how they should act within the confines of a pro football team, and he had to deal with the fallout of that.
He a me first guy too.
Okay, but he's not a social media.
No, he's not on social media, but he's a me first guy.
Doesn't make it any better.
Okay, but quarterbacks are almost always me first guys, unless it's the one you won a Super Bowl with in Baltimore, because he was lucky to go along for the ride. But the stars, the high picks, they're all me guys because it goes with the territory. It's just who they are. Aaron Rodgers is the ultimate me guy and the ultimate finger pointer, sometimes in a good way because that receiver, not you, but some receiver might deserve to get called out publicly by Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Okay, well, I don't love it, but every once in a while, I've been around so many quarterbacks all the way back to Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach. They called out people publicly when they deserved it. LeBron James has called out his teammates publicly when they deserved it, right?
Look, and I'm not going to look. I didn't play with everybody, but I played with a Hall of Famer. And can you imagine if Antonio Brown runs the shallow cross. At the back of the end zone, he throws the interception in Denver. You threw the interception. Now, the first thing out your mouth, don't come out and tell the media, well, Antonio Brown cut that route short. Okay, if he runs the route short, don't you exacerbate the situation by throwing him the ball. James Washington dropped the crucial 3rd down. Leaders don't go publicly and say, he got to make that catch. James Washington need to make that catch. That's not what leaders do, Skip Bayless. Me and Ben would have had a problem because I'm going to give you the first one. The first was on me. I'm going to take that one. You call me out again, publicly, I'm going to punch you in your face.
Yeah, okay, is Aaron Rodgers a better leader than Ben has been?
We ain't talking about Aaron Rodgers. We talking about Ben. We talking about Ben Rodgers.
Big no comment on that.
We ain't talking about.
You did.
Validation.
It's so weird, though.
Because they are different. Their situations are different. Their circumstances are different. Is Ben a better leader than Tom Brady?
No.
Okay.
Tom Brady's the greatest leader in the history of the NFL position.
Do you want to know why? Because he always talks and refers to the team as we. We. I don't care whether it's LeBron James or Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger. Tom Brady understands if we're going to do this and do it all the time consistently, I can't put myself out front. Everybody's going to do that already.
Yeah.
They're going to do that. My play is going to afford them the right to do that.
And what did he say? Oh, nobody likes to be talked about, but they're not here now. But that's a leader. That's your leader. Okay.
So you just defended Tom Brady? You just said a good thing? You just agreed with Greg? He's a great leader.
Yeah, I've never said Tom wasn't a great leader.
Interesting. out of both sides of mouth.
No, Skip. No.
It's his style of leadership.
No,
we
exactly.
question sometimes.
Ben is trying to equate, as long as I win, that makes me a great leader. And that's not true. Leadership comes through adversity. Hell, anybody can lead. If you're doing well, how hard is it to keep a self-driving car in the middle of the road? It's when that malfunction happens and you actually have to take the wheel. When things started going haywire, they 7-2, Skip. When things started to go off the curve. Remember, this started, Skip. Remember in Chicago. Nobody was going to come out for the anthem, Skip. Nobody. We talked about it the night before. James Harrison said, we talked about it the night before. Nobody. The next thing you know, well, I need to see the flag. And the coaches, I need to be on the sideline. Well, the leader, Ben Roethlisberger, is supposed to say, look, guys, this is what we talked about. This is what we discussed. This is what we're going to do. But no.
Sometimes in these situations, the head coach assumes the majority of the leadership, and in this case, this head coach has not done that. He has stood by and watched all this go south, right?
Yeah,
and he just got a contract.
He's created the culture.
Yes,
right?
yes.
He's definitely created the culture.
Okay, because he's the ultimate player's coach. And I do love Mike Tomlin, and I've always said if I played, I'd want to play for that guy. But maybe that's what's wrong is he's just too easy to play for.
He's given the players too much leeway. Antonio Brown, I'm sorry, AB, you can't play. You do that, you gonna go live? Think about it, Skip. You go live. I'm surprised the NFL didn't step in.
On Facebook.
On Facebook Live when we do it right after the game. They don't normally let anybody in there except the team. You know, the team have the team have a local TV station that comes in right during when they get in the prayer and Mike's saying something. But for Antonio Brown to do that and for Ben to openly and publicly criticize players, they've allowed this. People will do what you allow them to do. You should have nipped that in the bud.
Okay.
Like I said, you had one time to call me out because I first was on me. I was like, okay. And Ben, don't do that again now.
Antonio will miss Ben sometime during this year. He'll
you
wake up and sit back.
You don't think
and
Ben
say,
going to miss him, huh?
Okay, well, maybe. But I'm just saying the quarterback's more important than the receiver to me because it's a harder position to play.
Oh,
and
that's-
you're going to be in
that's
Oakland
fact.
with Derek Carr, and you're going to say, God, I can't. Ben was really good.
Yeah.
Because he's really good.
Skip, I've never said anything about his ability. The only thing I've questioned is his leadership.
Is he a natural-born leader? No, he is not. Can you suddenly flip the switch at age 37 and take a bunch of receivers on a little vacation to where rural Georgia somewhere? Was it on the coast or somewhere?
Greensboro, Georgia,
Yeah,
Reynolds Plantation.
Okay. Does that work? No, probably won't work. But
It's a
but
start.
is he trying? Is he? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Step in the right direction.
Now you're
Yes.
You
But
know?
now it's how
You're not
they perform
going-
on the field and what we see from him.
Yeah, we're going to
fun
see.
one to watch. I know Skip's got
we're going to see who he calls out now. Because Le'Veon's not there. AB is not there. Who get called out next?
I hope he calls you out today. I would love that.
What-
That would be leadership.
Why you want to call the media? Why do you want to call the media guy out?
Yeah, because
you'd punch
you're
him.
Oh,
taking shots.
when I play, man, you're not finna call me out publicly because I wouldn't call you. What? Look here. Hey, I'm going to get my respect one way or another. You can give it to me or I can take it. How we going to do it?
I love
Great,
it.
good to know. Greg, always nice to have you. Thank you for joining us today. Is Zeke still the best running back in football? We'll discuss next.
No mercy.
Ezekiel Elliott has won the rushing crown twice in his first 3 years in the NFL, but apparently he's not the best running back. Zeke was voted the 18th best player in the league in NFL Network's rankings, which is voted on by other players. And he checked in 2 spots below division rival Saquon Barkley and 4 spots behind Alvin Kamara. So, Shannon, do you agree with these rankings? What was that yell there? What do you got?
I do, Skip. I believe these guys are better than Zeke for one simple reason. Splash. The home run. Skip, Saquon Barkley had 8 plays where he either caught or ran the ball for 50 yards or more. He had 9 plays of which that went for 40 yards or more. Skip, that's double more than any other back in the league. Zeke had 0 of those plays. I believe Saquon Barkley behind the Dallas Cowboys offensive line could possibly be the first guy to rush for 2,000 and catch 100 passes. Because he put up 1,300 rush yards with 91 catches, 700 yards receiving, Skip, behind, I believe, a top 5 poor rush line in all of football. When he gets 3 yards, he's actually got 10 because he's had to make 3 people miss in the backfield just to get those 3 yards. Alvin Kamara, Skip, I don't even, what do you want me to say? He can catch the ball out of the backfield like a receiver. You put him in the slot, you put him out wide, and he's a wide receiver. He's special. His start-stop ability, the ability to make people miss in confined spaces. And that's what's so amazing about Saquon, Skip. A guy that size is not supposed to have that kind of hip movement. The kind of shift that he has, and you look at Zeke, very similar back. He's a little heavier than Zeke. Skip, Zeke don't make anybody miss. I mean, if it's a fire hydrant, Zeke's running into it. So for that, Skip, I'm sorry. He still deserves his money. I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna try to back me into a corner where if he's not that good,
I didn't need to say a word because you backed yourself into the corner.
No. So I'm going, yes, I believe, because you just look at what Zeke has. But I just want to know one thing. Dak must be going to be in the top 10.
Not so sure about that.
All right, hold on, wait a minute. You mean to tell me, Skip Bayless, you talking about you going to the Super Bowl with a guy that can't make the top 100?
That's a topic for another day. We're talking about my man.
For another
Ezekiel
day.
Elliott.
Yes.
So, now we see what you're really made of.
What I made of?
For the last 5 days on this show, I've had to sit over here and hear you lie to me about how great Zeke is.
He is.
Oh, really?
Hold on,
because when you're talking about Jerry should pay Zeke,
pay him.
You talk about him as if he's a combination of Jim Brown, Eric Dickerson, and Emmitt Smith.
No, I don't.
That he is the greatest ever, all rolled into one. There's never been anything like it. I've heard it again and again. And all of a sudden you get faced with, wait a second, this list voted upon by the players says, wait a second, Saquon's better and Alvin Kamara's better, and you endorse, you sign off, you co-sign, you say yes.
Yes. But they're not up for contract.
You're trapped.
Don't Skip. There's room for more than one great player. You make it seem like if I said Alvin Kamara and Saquon's are great, that means Zeke can't be on the great list. Yes.
I have not wavered in my opinion. I still believe with all my heart and soul, Ezekiel Elliott is the best running back in football, pure running back.
Yeah.
I love him so much, I have his picture by my bedside. You can see it in our commercial called Better Come Prepared. Yeah. You did not come prepared to this topic because I'm about to undress you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and then you can take a nap the rest of the afternoon. Saquon is more whipped cream. He is more cherry on top than he is the cake because the cake is Ezekiel Elliott. If you take away all those splash plays, if we just take away one splash play a game, look back at last year, he was Rookie of the Year and he had a really nice year. I didn't think he had a great year because if you take away the one big run or catch in each game, he averaged per rush 3.2 yards per rush. He averaged per catch, if you take away the big ones, 5.1. That does no real damage.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, against my team, game 2, he went 11 rushes for a grand total of 28 yards. He did catch 14 balls, but for only 80 yards. Did that hurt us? Nah, not really.
Yeah, but the thing is, what he provides is that the reason why you said, hold on, Pro Football Focus has Zeke, the 8th best running back. And one of the reasons why they had him is because he didn't give you splash, because he didn't make you miss. Now you want to, this is what the reason why you don't pay him, because he doesn't give you splash. He doesn't make you miss. Now all of a sudden, the shoe's on the other foot, and you want to try to hold me to the fire.
You have no shoes on right now.
I got sneakers on.
The point is, if you press me into a corner and you say, more valuable, Dak or Zeke, I'm going to go with my quarterback over my running back. But my running back has proven to you 3 straight years he's the best running back in football because per game average, over 30, I missed the 6 games the second year, but he's led the league in yards, right? Yards per game.
But help me understand. I'm not really good at this. I've been, sometimes.
That is true.
Which part?
I'm just trying to figure out.
You're going on the right path.
If he says Dak is more valuable, how can a guy be more valuable if he's not top 100? At least the guy that has value.
How do we know he's not top 10? How do you know that?
Okay, hold on. Okay, let's see. Okay, Aaron Donald has yet to pop up on the board. Tom Brady, Drew Brees.
I don't know.
Julio Jones.
You're just guessing.
AB. I'm just saying. Hold on, that's 1, 2, 3. That's 5 right there, Skip.
You get Aaron?
Oh, is Rodgers up there yet?
What have I told you about this list every year?
No, don't tell me nothing.
The quarterbacks should all be in the top 20 players in this list should be quarterbacks.
I'm just saying.
No, they should. They're just better.
So in other words, you said, is that going to be top 10?
I don't know. Maybe. He's
Aaron
in my
Rodgers-
top 10.
Ooh, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, three
Okay.
quarterbacks left.
This is about Ezekiel versus the two other running backs.
Oh, what you going to do about my
Wait
homeboy?
a second. We're talking about pure running back between between the tackles. Can Saquon run it between the tackles like Zeke? He cannot.
Saquon run that thing between the tackles and then hit his head on the goalpost.
Nope, he does not. He
Hit his head on the goalpost.
3.2 yards per rush. He's not
What
that
he
guy.
average?
Can Alvin Kamara bang it between the tackles? Nope, he's not that guy. Is he more versatile than Zeke? Yeah, I'll give you
both of
that.
them are more
But
versatile.
what did I tell you going into last year? I said Zeke catches it way better than you give him credit for. Now you're lauding his hands, right?
But I am. But they're still not up to Kamara's. They're still not up to Saquon.
They're pretty good. You know
and
what?
then-
I
and then
think
again-
Zeke's hands are as good as Saquon's.
And then that pizzazz, that pop that they give you, Skip. The ability to take I had that ability, Skip. Take a 5-yard route and turn it into an 80-yard spectacular.
You did it one time because the safety took the wrong route
I did that
in
several
the
times.
AFC Championship.
I did that several times, Skip.
Yeah.
Stop doing that. Stop doing that.
You ran 4.8 for the
No,
Dallas Cowboys.
Skip. Well, all the safeties must have ran 4.9 because they couldn't
guess
catch
so.
me. But anyway, Skip Bayless, it's okay. Zeke can be great, deserves his money, but there can be players better. That's just how it works, Skip.
Nope. Zeke is the best running back in football.
Well, then why you don't want to pay him?
I do want to pay him. Todd Gurley got insane money. Does he deserve beyond Todd Gurley? Nobody. I told you yesterday, Todd Gurley didn't deserve Todd Gurley money.
Oh, I forgot about Khalil Mack. I forgot about Von Miller.
Okay.
So I think there's a very good chance that your guy, Skip, out of 100 players, he's quarterback of the most popular franchise in all the world, the most valuable franchise, and your quarterback is not top 100?
You're confusing me with somebody who cares what those players voted.
No,
on.
Skip. Don't do that. Don't do that, Skip.
I don't care. I know what the numbers showed me last year.
What they show you?
My quarterback went 7-1 after he got his number one receiver.
Okay.
7-1. He went 13 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. He was 3rd in the NFL in completions and 4th in yards over that stretch. Sorry, game over. Game over.
I want you, Jenny. Now you heard this. You my
which
witness.
part?
Now if Tom Brady's number 1, we're not going to discuss it. No.
Why not?
No. You say you don't care what the players think.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. You gonna come in here?
Are you afraid?
What did I tell you?
I know, but that's the biggest duh in the history of pro football.
He
is the best
I got
player.
5 cases right now saying he's not number 1.
Then you must know something.
How
Yeah,
do
you
I
never bet
know?
unless you know. You always lose when you don't know.
I bet 5 cases. I bet my homeboy number 1.
Do you know?
No,
you got
I
that
don't.
grin
How
on
would
your
I
face.
know?
I
I feel
don't
like
really
he knows
care.
something.
I don't care.
Okay, I can't. I'm gonna say Aaron Donald's number 1.
Okay, do you
You're
want to bet
changing your
5
mind a
cases
lot.
on that?
I bet he's over Tom Brady. I bet Aaron Donald be ranked higher than Tom Brady.
I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah,
Why would I bet on something I don't care
Yeah, you do
about?
care.
I
You do care.
don't.
But let Tom Brady. Ooh.
This is a
What if Tom-
psycho list.
what if-
What have I told you from the start? All quarterbacks, top 20 should be quarterbacks, starting with Brady.
No.
I'll give you Mahomes up there high.
Mahomes,
Brees.
but number 1.
Well, is he? Is that what you hear?
I don't hear nothing, Skip. I didn't hear anything.
Okay.
You make it. I don't. Look, no, I don't do that.
Because the only other time you were right about something is when somebody told you Matt Ryan was
inside information.
Matt Ryan was going to be the MVP.
But I told you that, Skip.
Okay. All right. That's the only one you got right when you had inside
They have
information.
no inside information.
Okay.
But I used to vote, Skip, but I'm trying to give you the inside of, and I was spot on when I voted for the pro, not Pro Bowlers, but the All Pro teams and Rookie of the Year and comeback, all that. Skip, I was always spot on. Because if you just watch,
Okay. All
and,
right.
and see when you don't watch with the sound, then you can really, you don't
See
get all
more.
that ooh and ah. Did
Really?
you see this? You see that?
Yeah.
I like
That's
to
why you
listen.
come in here just completely uninformed.
No.
know.
Not listening. Guys, we need to stay talking about Zeke. We got more to get to here. What is the latest with his holdout? NFL Network reporter Jane Slater
Ooh.
is here.
Wow.
She's got some new details. She joins us next.
No mercy.
Well, Ezekiel Elliott is reportedly in Cabo right now as he continues his holdout. Zeke apparently wants to be the highest paid running back, passing Todd Gurley's deal, but Dallas still needs to pay Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper as well. So we are joined by someone who knows the Cowboys very well, NFL Network reporter Jane Slater. So good to have you.
Welcome.
On Undisputed. We got to start with you. What is the latest with Zeke?
You know, I love that you brought up the Todd Gurley deal, wanting to be paid as much as Todd Gurley. You brought up an interesting point about Todd Gurley didn't deserve Todd Gurley money. That's how I'm told the Cowboys see it. They're trying to reset the market here. Now, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on the other side because we know his value to this offense. Without Ezekiel Elliott, you're replacing over 2,000 yards of total offense. They brought in Alfred Morris because this was a veteran back that had been on their radar because he knew this offense, and they have two rookie running backs. But he was a thought if Zeke got hurt. Can he carry the load? He was averaging 4.3 yards per carry during the 5 starts during the 6-game suspension, so they have confidence in him. And they're certainly insulated better this season with Jason Witten, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Randall Cobb. But I think everyone can agree when you look at the stats and you look at what he means to this team, Ezekiel Elliott gives them the best shot to go to Miami.
Okay, so given what you know, given what you've reported, given what you've heard, gut feeling, does Zeke miss real games and continue to hold out?
The question you have to ask yourself, how broke is Zeke? Can he afford to miss game checks? He missed 6 game checks during his suspension. My thought is that this is not going to turn into a Le'Veon Bell situation. This isn't a situation like Pittsburgh, and here's why. The players who speak to me freely, the players who've gone on the record, the coach, they all want him here. Jason Garrett's going to need a new deal done soon. Amari Cooper is working on a deal. Dak Prescott's working on a deal. They have all been in communication with him. I was told that Jason Garrett got an encouraging text from Ezekiel Elliott 2 nights ago.
I'll take
Dak
that.
Prescott on our air on the NFL Network said he's been in communication with Ezekiel Elliott. I believe this is management team saying use your leverage now, get the deal done. But I believe that Zeke wants to be here. He talked about it. It bothered him being away from the team and being a part of a team that I think a lot of people believe has a legitimate shot to make that push in the postseason.
Oh, I agree with everything you said. But in order for him to get his money, the only leverage he has is holding out. That's the only leverage. They're not doing this deal. He shows up to camp and he's happy-go-lucky. They're not doing the deal. He says, I believe that I'm better than Todd Gurley. And whether you believe someone is better or not, it's the guy that signs the deal last that gets the most money. So you're trying to reset a market, but it's like, let somebody else reset the market. You're not going to sit it with me after I've led the league in rushing 2 of the last 3 years.
Shannon, I believe the issue isn't so much, is he better than Todd Gurley? It's risk and reward.
Right.
If there had not been an incident this summer in Vegas and Jerry's legal envoy hadn't been there, this recent legal case that's come forward where the Cowboys are once again finding themselves in the mix, defending Ezekiel Elliott, Jerry Jones going to bat for him after the Hall of Fame, being feted as the owner of the century, and 3 weeks later going on the record in a controversial case that was sort of muddy and putting his neck out there.
Yep.
That's where things get a little muddy here. Again, I don't think it's the big holdout for them. They're invested in Zeke. They believe in Zeke. But you did watch that All or Nothing special on Amazon, did you not?
Yes, I
When
did.
Jerry Jones was not across from the table from Zeke, but right next to him, pats him on the leg there and says, I went to bat for you. I think that is being reminded in these negotiations. We want to get you paid, but there is a level to what we're willing to pay because we've got to pay these other guys.
Jane, but if I buy a snake and knowing he's going to get big and he ends up biting me, what did you expect? They knew Zeke. They knew
Jane's
Zeke.
not going to buy a snake.
No, they knew this about Zeke
agree.
when they drafted him.
Yeah.
They took him 4th overall. He was everything they hoped he would be on the field and everything they thought he would be off of it, and they still took him. So now you want to hold that against him. You knew what you were getting.
Okay, but
But we don't know that they're holding it against him.
Yes.
I mean, they feel like they've made a fair offer, and you're right, but Jerry's not afraid of risk. Look at Jalen Smith.
Yeah.
That paid off for him.
Yes.
Randy Gregory, to be determined. David Irving did not.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Paid off for him.
Yeah.
But look at the way they played that out in the media, too. That thing got a little acrimonious as well, and then DeMarcus Lawrence got paid.
DeMarcus Lawrence said, I'm going to have surgery in June. Y'all don't give me my money. I'm having surgery in June.
No threat.
Yeah, okay, they got it done.
I think Jane suggested early on that Zeke is not keen on missing real game checks. So Jerry's got that on his side. So I think her gut feeling is mine. It will get done before the real game starts.
Right. Okay.
Which leads to the next question. Do you believe Dak will get done sooner than later?
I do. There's been no indication out of either camp that it's not going to get done. And they know that they've got to pay him. If anything, the Cowboys should have gotten this thing done before Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz set the market.
I told you.
So this to me was on the Cowboys. They realized his value.
No.
They wouldn't have made the investment in Kellen Moore as the OC and made a change there, brought in John Kitna, and by Dak showing up at camp, showing that he's bought in, the guys love him. We saw that his rookie season. There was a reason why Tony Romo, who came back healthy and was beloved by the front office, didn't have an opportunity to even compete for his job back. They don't go all in on a guy and then not pay him.
Aha.
What's Skip?
What have I been
you tell me that Carson Wentz is overpaid. Oh, do they want to reset the quarterback market with Dak Prescott? Like they're trying to do it with Ezekiel Elliott?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Maybe he'll take a little hometown.
Ain't no hometown. Jane, tell him ain't no hometown discount.
Yeah.
If I'm Dak, are you taking a hometown discount?
Everybody except Skip knows that he shouldn't take no discount. And Amari, he just saw what Michael Thomas. Did you see that money, Jane?
And, you know, I've said this on air at NFL Network. Amari is one of the smartest guys in that locker room. He plays chess during the media breakouts in there. And when you get him to break down plays for you, doesn't love to talk to the media much. And his team isn't talking to the media either. We don't know what the numbers are involved, but I do know that in Michael Thomas's mind, $20 million was the number that was set. That was the number he wanted, and he got it. Amari was sitting there waiting to see what that money was. Don't be surprised if very soon we hear Amari Cooper potentially being the highest paid wide receiver.
By the way, Michael Thomas got the most money in NFL history for a non-quarterback offensive player.
Skip. How you pay him? And that's the dilemma that you have. Skip says, well, that's a great problem to have. It is until they come up for contracts. Because there's no way, when you have a cap, there's no way you can pay all your great players, Skip. You're going to have to lose them. Jalen Smith.
Or somebody's going to have to sacrifice a little here and a little there.
Or you get creative.
Nobody can get more creative than Jerry Jones. He creates cap loopholes.
As long as you create that direct deposit in my account for about $60 million, create it how you want them.
You're good.
But Jerry at 77 knows he's close. He's been talking about that window closing for years. This is probably the best team that he's had since 2014. I would be shocked if Jerry doesn't figure out a way to make these numbers work and have these guys here.
Ditto. And that's before this regular season starts.
Well, right now, Skip,
Okay.
Jane said the window's closing. Say it's a very small. Right now, it's a stick in the window. And it's about to break. It's about to break, Skip, because when the stick breaks, the window closes.
Well, that's your only hope.
Well, Skip, I don't hate Skip. I want the Cowboys to be successful. The more successful they are, the more you and I can engage. It ain't gonna happen though.
To the outside, they just feel very colorful, Skip. For those of us on the inside, it sort of feels like it's dysfunctional, but it's your family. And so when you cover the team and you I think we're a little bit more tempered and measured in handling this team because we've seen it over the years.
Okay, back to Zeke. I believe you reported, or you're one of the first to report, he went to Cabo, and that somebody upstairs not real happy with that, and I assume that goes all the way to the top. So how angry has Jerry gotten in your estimation over all of Zeke's behavior, not showing up and then going to Cabo?
It didn't help the situation, Skip. I think if he had had training camp in Wyoming, the Cowboys would have been fine with it. He went and did this during the 6-game suspension. And might I preface this by saying his agent, Rocky Arsenault, has a place there at this Diamante resort. And he put out the video and the pictures, and he did come back ready to get after it after the suspension.
In better shape than when he left.
Right. So the hope is that he will, in fact, do that. But I just think from an optic standpoint, that's been the issue with Zeke all along, are some of these issues criminal? Take out the allegations from Ohio State. They've just been an optics issue, and it's a headache for Jerry Jones. And this feels like yet another headache. As it was told to me, it's just not a good look.
You know optics I don't like, Jane? I'm looking at my bank account. I don't see no influx of no fresh cash in there. The optics. I don't like them optics. You like those optics? I don't like those optics.
That's where his
You know what?
management's coming from.
I love the optics of Jason Witten has returned, and he's a better tight end than the guy across the table from him.
Wow.
Jane.
Yeah.
What have you seen? You were at camp
So,
every day.
so
What
what
have you
has
seen?
the impact been of Jason's return to the locker room and the field?
You know, it's interesting. That was one of the best kept secrets at Combine. And when that broke, I was over actually talking to DeMarcus Lawrence's agent about his deal. So I run over to the facility and started talking to a couple of my sources on that. That was a real behind-the-scenes tough decision for Jason Witten. A lot of people thought Jerry Jones was saving him from ESPN. That was not the case. Witten struggled with that. He felt like he had gas left in the tank, and you felt a sense of relief when he came back to camp. He looks and feels younger, which is odd to me, having stepped away from the game this last year. But what he's done, I think, is push these young guys. Blake Jarwin, who we saw really impress in the regular season finale against the Giants. The split in the building was, now wait a minute, Witten never comes off the field. This was our issue. We've got these young guys behind him. What I've seen from Witten is him embracing that role. He is constantly chirping at the staff. He's chirping at the young guys. And I'm seeing him push guys like Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin in camp. So I think this is a good thing from the Cowboys. He's sort of taken on this Sean Lee player hybrid role. And I think that offense really needed some veteran leadership. They were so young last year. Without Jason Witten in the locker room. So I actually think it's been a good thing for them.
Good stuff.
Very good, Jane. So good to have you. I know Skip is going to like what you said about this
I
team
feel a lot better now.
having all the ingredients ready for a long push. Shannon, still waiting on the money. Thank you for being here. You can catch Jane on NFL Network's Inside Training Camp Live every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
So we have been talking about this all morning. Michael Thomas just got paid. The Saints wide receiver signed a new 5-year deal this morning for $100 million with $61 million guaranteed. Thomas becomes the highest paid wide receiver in the league, and he has more catches in the first 3 years of his career than any receiver ever. Shannon, what does this contract mean?
Omar said you're babe.
That's all you got.
We went there immediately.
That's all you got.
Skip, the price for Amari just went up. Michael Thomas, Skip, had 97 more catches than any other receiver on the Saints roster. And that was one of the reasons that they reached out to Dez Bryant, because they was trying to find someone else, especially after a couple of the receivers had gotten injured. He was 40-plus clear of Alvin Kamara, who had 81. Him holding out. Skip, let's be real. If Michael Thomas shows up to camp, is this deal getting done? So this notion that, they're going to do this.
How do you know that? I mean, I've seen Jerry do a lot of deals because people buddied up to him.
Wait, no, ain't no buddy.
Yeah.
We don't. First of all, we're not buddies. Okay? No, the league, the ownership, and the TV, they're buddies.
I'm just talking about Jerry. That's how he does business. You don't get it.
Zeke says, I got to do this. I got to do what's in the best interest of me and my family.
Nope.
But Skip, the price just went up. You understand that what's going on. Michael Thomas got 5 for $100 million, 61 guaranteed. Now Julio Jones out of the 8, who I believe is the best receiver in football. Now the thing is, he has 2 years left, but he wants a big payday. And deservedly so, because I believe he's the best receiver in football. But Michael Thomas, Skip, a catch rate of 85%. That's the highest catch rate since 2001. So if you throw it in his vicinity, he coming down with the ball. Oh, man.
He came down with 4 for 36 against the Rams in that NFC Championship.
But Skip,
just for the record.
But here's the thing. And plus, what did they have? Now, remember, the first time that they played him, Aqib Talib didn't play. So that left Marcus Peters one-on-one with him. So now we get our full arsenal back so we can run a little bit more exotic coverages. He deserves this money. I mean, he's averaging 107 catches over his first 3 years. That blows everybody away. He deserves his money, Skip. He got played. I'm happy for him.
I hate to say this because it does impact my team, but this is another shocking overpay to me. Shocking overpay. Kirk Cousins was a shocking overpay. Carson Wentz was a shocking overpay. Todd Gurley was an even more shocking overpay, and here we go again. Michael Thomas is really good, but is he all-time great? Because this is an all-time great deal that he just got.
Not.
And maybe you're projecting where the cap is going to grow and expand to the extent that this might just become the going rate for receivers.
It is.
Like in 2 years to look back and say, well, that was business as usual. That's what he deserved. That's just receiver money.
Skip, I remember when in 90, I think 97, 98, the highest paid quarterback was like John and Dan.
Okay.
They're making $5-6 million a year.
Okay.
Now, are any of these?
That's crazy.
Michael Thomas ran 4.57 at the combine. That's pretty close to 4.6 at the combine.
That's pretty close to what Jerry Rice ran, who ran 4.65, who just happens to be the GOAT.
Yeah, and the NFL Combine's bottom line was he has a chance, Michael Thomas, to become an NFL starter. That was the line on him.
Okay.
Really? Okay. So he went mid-second round, and some people thought that was a little high for Michael Thomas, and he's been really good. I take nothing away from all the stats you're throwing at me, but is he transcendent? Is he game-changing?
Well, Skip, no. You can't base it on that. You can't say, if this guy going to be better than Jerry Rice or this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. That's not how you do it, Skip. You know that's not how contract works. Skip, I made the mistake. Look, I wanted a watch. I wanted a Patek Philippe. They say Patek Philippe, but a Patek Philippe. I wanted a 5980, Skip. And I wanted it, and I was like, I almost got it. And I didn't. And you know what's happened, Skip? The price is doubled.
It's gone way up.
And guess what, Jerry? You should have signed those guys earlier, and you'd have got them at a discount. But you didn't.
Nope.
So now you got to pay double.
He paid the offensive line right on time. He'll pay these three right on time. But these are absurd amounts of money.
No, it ain't absurd.
Yep.
No, it ain't absurd.
Irrational amounts of
And
money.
I told you, I said, Skip, Dak, did he go ahead and pay Dak? I said, because these quarterbacks coming, and these numbers going to be 33, 34. I said, go ahead and get him while you can get him around Kirk Cousins type number. But you didn't want to listen to me. So guess what now? 2028. Carson Wentz, that 103 is the going rate for Dak.
Once upon a time, Jerry got stuck with the Dez deal, 5 years, $70 million, and maybe these deals you'll wind up being stuck with. Right?
You never know. I'm liking this next story, guys. Why is Kliff Kingsbury upset with Madden? Trust me, you want to hear it next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. A lot of players complain about their Madden rating, but Kliff Kingsbury might be the first person to complain about his looks in the video game. The new Cardinals coach said, quote, "I look like I'm on The Walking Dead. I saw my picture on there, and I am not pleased." This is a good story. Shannon, do you have a problem with his complaint?
Yeah, Skip, I got a problem with it. Skip, why do you care? Skip, if I'm a player on that team, how does this instill confidence in me that Kliff Kingsbury know what the hell he's doing? He worried about a Madden look-alike?
Yeah.
He talking about The Walking Dead. But let me tell you something, Skip. When they walk you down before they in death row, when they walk you down to strap you on the gurney,
Lord have mercy.
they call
Whoa.
it dead man walking.
Whoa.
Well, if Kliff Kingsbury, if you don't win some games,
That's
you
true.
talk about walking dead, you're going to be dead man walking. Skip, why does
Maybe
he
not
care?
this year, but in another year.
Skip, why does he care what he looks like in a video game?
I know Kliff, I like Kliff, and I think it's safe to say there's never, ever been an NFL head coach like Kliff Kingsbury.
Okay.
He is going to shatter the mold. I don't know if he's going to win games. I don't know how long he's going to last, but look, he cares what he looks like on social media, and I don't think any other NFL head coach has ever really cared about that. So he's more like his players than any coach has ever been, which is why he's giving his players cell phone breaks during their workouts. Let's stop for a while. You need one,
I need
right?
one, yeah.
You get one because we have commercial breaks, right? They're even trying to simulate halftime where they stop down and do halftime. Okay, let's do halftime. I don't know if he's going to let his players during real game halftimes look at their phones. Maybe he is.
No.
Because you just can't stop looking at your phone because you can't.
But Skip,
right?
Skip, why does he Skip? He's an NFL head coach.
Okay.
Why does he care what he looks like in a video
I
game?
hope it's fair to say I think he's got a little pretty boy in him, and he knows it like he
he
likes
knows
how
it.
he looks.
I mean, he's going to be hot stuff out there in Arizona. I mean, you know,
Yeah, but
that Tim Scott.
I think it looks
looks
exactly
like him.
I'm confused who
Well, he's just
looking
a little
at.
pallid, you know, like he's got a whiteness to him.
So he
like
needs
it
a
looks
tan?
Like,
I'm
looks a
sorry.
little waxy.
I'm sorry they didn't do the tan, the tan thing. I'm sorry.
Really?
But that looks like you.
Okay.
But Skip, who cares? So because it doesn't look like you, doesn't mean you're going to coach any better?
It'll be easier to attract free agents with that kind of persona, but you also have to win games.
I don't care about no persona. I don't care
this
what
is
my
great.
coach look like or no video games.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
of money.